you doubt me?読み切ってるshowdown. Deal with the devil. 見透かして私のものにする。あなたの髪の一本まで全部 $1 million再生レース。震えてるわよ坊や。下ろさせはしないわ。Deal with the devil. 興奮たまらないはスリル。誰にも触らせないこの間に。$1 million I say raise. 震えてるわよ坊や。下ろさせはしないわ。興奮たまらないはスリル。誰にも触らせないこの間に。$1 million 再生レース。さあcome on覚悟決めて。震えたかぶれ my heart。 欲しがるようじゃねまだ baby。 誰にも負けない感じさせて Let me honey。
Ooh, excuse me. I actually like that version. I like that version. Yeah, I know this is definitely not a normal stream. I always talk about how much I hate. Excuse me. Still getting over my sickness. I always talk about how I hate doing movie talk and TV reviews for this very reason. But I had to say something, man. I am a huge, like, people don't understand this about me. People have all these weird accusations that I don't play video games, like I'm not a true gamer. I'm not a big nerd. I really am. I love anime, guys. Like, I'm talking from Death Note to Demon Slayer to Kakaguri, right? Now, see, this is the thing. Reason why I did this, right, is because I was like, what am I going to talk about today? I'm going to talk about regular drama. No, I'm going to talk about drama involving entertainment. Yeah, we're going to talk about drama and entertainment. But more so, anime adaptations, especially American ones. Because believe it or not, I actually like this show. Listen, I saw the first few episodes. I was like, oh my God, why are they doing this? I was like, I have to keep watching just to see how bad this gets, right? And don't get me wrong, it has its moments where even I, as a fan, right, as a fan of the original Kakaguri, right, even I'm looking at it like, well, that's a choice, you know? But it's not as bad as everyone wants to bitch and moan and take a piss on. Okay, so here's the thing. For those of you who are not familiar with Kakaguri, right? It's a manga, became an anime, and had 2 live action Japanese adaptations of it before we got to what was just released on Netflix a few days ago. All right, so for those of you who don't know what the story is, Kakaguri starts off with this top elite school where basically the students run it. The student council runs the whole school and they all bet each other. If you don't have money, you become a house pet, right? The school's elite because all of the kids there come from pristine families, you know, politicians, mobsters, whatever have you, right? That's the premise of it. Now you have this woman, this girl, her name is Yumiko. She has an obsession with gambling, and she goes to this school, and it's a crazy concept, right? But it's such a good anime. Like, I highly recommend it, you guys, if you're looking for something to binge watch. You know, I highly recommend Kakaguri. Watch the anime. So this show, Bet, it kind of follows that similar type style, with the exception of now Yumiko's thing is she's not just a compulsive gambler and obsessed with gambling. She's there for revenge. She's there for revenge because her parents were murdered by somebody's parents who runs on the student council. Now the reviews are pretty bad. Like, I've seen a lot of articles written about how this adaptation was awful, and the only thing I have to say to that is it's really not that bad, right? As a fan of the show, I can understand why people are a little, you know, but I will say this, okay? Let's take a look at the characters All right, the actors and the characters, because they made some changes that some points I understand what the criticism is, but let's just talk about that. Hold on, what's going on with my computer? Let's get this going. Well, my computer is like being slower than dirt right now. Okay, so this is the actress who plays the main character, Yumiko. All right, she plays this role very, very well. I think she portrays the character as good as you can, coming from a live action version of this character. Which, by the way, I want to remind everybody who's watching this, right? Japan did it already. Japan did it, and their adaptation was very true to the anime. I will say that, as far as the characters, the way they look, everything, they did it very well. But it's Japan. Why are we surprised? But the American version, Yumiko, is not that bad for the Americanized version. I mean, they did cast a Japanese actress, kept the name Yumiko. She speaks Japanese here and there. They play some Japanese music, kind of just to, emphasize this came from an anime. This came from Japan. I'm not mad at it. Her performance was very well. This character who plays Ryan, he's supposed to be the male character counterpart from the show. I would say his character is definitely not the same as the original, but it grows on you. Like, he is his own character. I think, for the record, in fairness, I think that the criticism against these characters, the actors did the best considering what they were given for this property. It's not bad. Like, he did a really good job. I'm not mad at it. For his character, even though he's based on a different character from the original show, it's not bad. It's really not bad, guys. I'm telling you, he grew on me. I was actually surprised with him because I'm like, I knew which character he was supposed to be from the original Kakaguri, but he grew on me. Like, I like his character. I actually like his character development in this show, which, again, people will always say, this is one thing I hate about fans. They always talk about the shit that these people who make these do so wrong with the core material. You know what I'm saying? But, like, let's talk about the changes they made as far as just what this show is. Let's stop comparing it too much to the other part, right? This guy, he did a good job. He did a good job. Oh, internet. I hate when I show something on screen, the internet be doing that. Pause 1 second. Because, like, this is my biggest pet peeve why I want to talk about it, because it really makes me angry that this show is getting so much shit, and it's really not that bad of a show. Like, if you're a fan of Kakaguri, I get it. It's not that bad, though. If you're just somebody who's never seen Kakaguri and came into this, you might like it, but also not understand a lot of, like, hidden references that have it be more anime-esque, right? So there's this guy. He did okay. The one that I was really impressed with this actress right here, the actress Eve Edwards, who plays Mary. Mary is a character in Kakaguri, and I think this actress played Mary very well. I think that her performance as this character is probably one of my favorites, because she does play a character that is very similar to the character from the anime. And yeah, I liked her performance. I like this actress. I think she did freaking amazing. I think she did amazing as a character. And this is why I'm talking about it, because, again, I always go into these live action animated adaptations, and I'm always sitting here like, this is going to be shit. And I've done that for so long, but I'm like, you know what? I need to stop being like everyone else on the fucking internet and bitching and moaning before I give something a chance. And like I said, I watched the first episode and I was like, I don't get it. This kind of feels stupid. This kind of feels like this is going to be bad. But then I was like, let me keep watching it. And it grew on me, y'all. Like, I'm not even finished with it, by the way. I'm only on episode 7. There's 10 episodes total. So I have, like, a couple more episodes left, but I'm literally looking at my TV screen and paused it on episode 7 to boot up this live stream and talk about it, because I was looking at the reviews and I was watching people talk about it. I'm like, you guys really are the most entitled fan base, man. Like, we had 2 TV shows for Kakaguri. Then we had 2 movie adaptations from Japan that were great. And I like it now. Yes, I said yesterday it was trash, but I'm watching it now, and I guess, again, I said it was trash because I only watched a few episodes. I'm on episode 7, guys. So, anyways, I already explained that, Tony. Thank you. But this is what I'm saying. This is why I say, Give stuff a chance, right? Because you're right. Yesterday I said it was trash. Today I actually am sitting here doing a good review on it because I'm sitting here like, this is not as bad as it could have been. Like, Death Note live action adaptation was bad. It was bad. I couldn't find a single redeeming quality. What the hell? Just popped up. Nobody wants to read Cosmopolitan. There's no redeeming for certain adaptations. The two adaptations I will never forgive, Dragon Ball Evolution and Death Note. Those two I would never, ever give any chance of trying to find ways to say this was good. Bet is not bad. Bet is not bad. Again, I give them credit, right? It was bold of them, right? The creators. Let me take this off the screen because I need a rant. Okay? It was bold for the showrunners of this show to take something that already is going to have negativity behind it because you are making an Americanized adaptation of a beloved anime franchise, okay? And there are a lot of choices they made that I'm like, why? But there are choices they made that they kind of kept from the original that, again, is a bold move to translate into an Americanized version. Like, for example, again, some of the character, like the costumes, basically, right? They do try to keep the character costumes pretty much close to what it was in the anime. I would say the only change they did, which I actually thought was interesting, is they gave the student council members different school uniforms to have them stick out more. Yeah. I was like, okay, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. I'm not mad at that at all. So again, I'm not mad at this show, man. I'm a fan of Kakaguri, and I ain't mad at the show like everybody else is. And now, people are gonna say I'm not a real fan. I'm like, it's not about being a real fan. I'm a real fan of the original. I'm not mad at this. You know what I'm saying? Now let's get back to some of these characters, just to show you what the issue is, right? By the way, another controversy surrounding this character that I forgot to mention is that if you watch Kakaguri, remember how I said if you lose all your money at the school, you become a pet, basically a slave? Well, this character becomes a slave in the very first episode, and everyone wanted to make it a race issue about how, that's kind of racist. They kind of toned deaf with that one. I mean, yeah, I would say in hindsight, looking at it like, yeah, maybe that wasn't the best idea, but at the same time, I don't fucking care. It's part of the story. Everyone, black, white, whatever, broke is broke. You're not in that school becoming a slave because of your race. You're a slave because you lost your gambling money. It's part of the story. It ain't that big of a deal. But of course, everybody got to make it a race thing, right? Anyways, so this is a character that I was really interested about. They call her Kiri. The Japanese version of the character's name is like Kira. So don't phrase me, but Kira's in the name. It's been a while since I watched Kakaguri. I don't remember the characters' names off my top of my head. But Kira is an interesting character. She's basically the leader, the head of the council, student council, straight up cold ice bitch. The way that the character in the anime is she has, white hair and a specific hairstyle with her, buns up. And the blue lipstick is like her iconic look, right? So it was a choice for them to say, well, we don't want to have her have, white hair to kind of emphasize that she's kind of cold, because that's the character. She's a cold bitch. She can still be a cold bitch and not have the cold bitch look, I guess. But they kept the blue lipstick, and it was a choice. I will say that. It was a choice. Again, I'm not mad at I'm not mad. At least they're trying to kind of keep these certain signatures for these characters so you have an idea who they are, what character they're based off of, because the white hair is not there. So at least they made an attempt to keep this character kind of looking somewhat to her anime counterpart, which again, I'm not mad at. I'm not mad at it, guys. But she plays it pretty well. Again, for what she's given as far as this is what the character is, she did okay. It wasn't the best. As far as like, there are certain cringe things where it's like she tries too hard to be a bitch. But as the show goes on, I kind of, she's like the mean girl. I'm not mad at it. They did it's an Americanized version of an anime. There's only so much you can do, guys, where it doesn't come off goofy to us, but I'm not too mad at it. Black hair with red eyes, though psychopath, but bet my type. Well, that's Yumiko. Yumiko's the black-haired, red eyes, psycho look. This chick was always with the blue eyes. I mean, again, it's a choice with the blue lipstick, but I ain't mad at it. She plays it pretty decent, you know. Then we have this character who I'm not really sure who he's supposed to be from the anime. Again, it's been a while since I watched Kakegurui. To kind of point what his character specifically is. I had a theory that he was the character from Kakegurui, the one that wore the glasses, and that's gonna like come out in somewhere. But anyways, again, his performance very well done. I'm not mad at these actors. These actors actually played their parts pretty well. This character, who is Riri, who's basically Kira's sister, in the anime, this character wears a full mask to hide their face because you find out in Kakegurui that she is the twin sister of the head of the council, and that's why she wears a mask so nobody can see that she's the twin. Again, it's a choice to do the half mask thing. And in this version of Bet, this character is a half sister, not a twin sister. Although we haven't seen her face, but she is, as of right now, because again, I'm only on episode 7. She is a half sister. Again, it's a choice, but I'm not, again, mad at it. It grows on you. It grows on you. Okay? That's kind of what it comes down to. This character, though, out of everyone, this character, and again, this is not the actor's fault, but this character here, Dori, she's supposed to be a character called Midori from Kakegurui. Yeah, I would say out of every character so far that we're looking at now, this character is the worst in the show. If I had any criticisms, number one, the eye patch in the original Kakegurui, Midori lost her eye to a bet against, I guess, Kira, right? We're just going to go by what the bet calls them. The head council lost her eye in a bet, wagered her eye, and literally lost her eye. Like, that eye patch is there because the bitch don't got an eye. Now, in Bet, for some reason, they changed that completely, where the story was that Dori lost her eye to a bet, but she actually didn't lose her eye. That eye patch she's wearing is like some kind of device from her family's company where it does some shit to a brain, collects data or some shit. I don't know. It's weird, but it also is apparently like, I guess, the cause of her being a psycho, because in Kakegurui, Midori is a psycho bitch. Like, this bitch is like, I don't want to play card games. It's boring. I want to play for blood type of gambler. Yeah. So Midori is a great character that they did very well in the Japanese adaptation. But in this one, I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's for an American audience that Midori's character wouldn't translate too well, I guess. I mean, I have no idea. I just know that this character kind of fell flat in this show. It kind of is cringe the way that this character is like kind of being like crazy. It's funny at moments, but I guess the only good thing I will say about the character is I find it interesting that they gave Midori's character in this more of like she's, feels sorry for her. There's something wrong with her. And she's also obsessed with the character Michael, like in love obsessed, like hacking his computer or watching when he sleeps type shit. I don't know. It's a choice. Okay, it's a choice. I would say that if the fans have any rights to be angry at any of these character changes or whatever, I would say this one's a more dramatic change that even I'm like not the biggest fan. She's just here. That's kind of how I see it. This character is just here. And again, they try to make her look very crazy, where the original Midori's look was just piercings, crazy piercings, because in Japan, piercings are kind of a thing that's, people have piercings, but it's a choice look, it's a cultural thing, right? So they just try to make this character as crazy looking as possible and act as crazy as possible. She's my least favorite, but again, no shade. Like, the actress who plays this character plays as best as they are given directions to. I'm not mad at it. She does the job, and it's a choice. I keep saying that because it's like it's a choice. This character Suki, I believe, is supposed to replace the character who has the obsession with the fingernails, like somebody said in the chat. This character is a character that I would expect to be in an anime, by the way, for those of you who missed all of my rants about how Japan has been woke before woke was a thing. This is a character that definitely I am not mad at because he definitely plays the part of a typical feminine boy anime character, right? He's an interesting character, can be kind of cringe, but he's kind of like the social media influencer bitch. I do makeup tutorials, part of the student council. Again, it's a choice, an interesting choice, but I'm not mad at it because, again, at least it kind of feels anime-esque. And Japan is a girl. I mean, I'm not too mad at it. It's not like a thing that bothers me too much because I do get it, but that character that we're talking about, the one with the nails, I would say that this character replaces her, but also is not the same character at all. This character is part of the student council in Bet, whereas in Kakaguri, that character was not on the student council. She was trying to be on the student council. She was kind of sucking up to one of the members of the student council. I would say she's a good character, but not needed. Not needed. You know what I'm saying? Not needed. You know. So I'm not mad at the gay boy who's part of the student council. It is not uncommon in Japan animations, by the way, to have feminine boys. It is kind of right on brand to be in this show, to be honest with you. And he played it well. The guy who played this character played it pretty well. Again, not mad at it. It's a choice. It's a change choice. That's a choice. So I'm not mad at this character either. Let's see. Who else do we have? Chad. I don't know who the fuck Chad's really supposed to fucking be. Like, I don't know who Chad is supposed to fucking be. This character is just here. Like, he's not in my. I'm looking back at all the student council members from the original Kakaguri, and I can't see him being any of the characters there. I think they might have just added him in, but yes, he's just Chad. Like, Chad is just fucking here. That's who Chad is. That is all I got on Chad. That's it. Like, Chad is just there. I feel like, again, I'm only on episode 7, and I have seen not much from this character at all. I would say out of all the characters that they have done, at least Dory has more of a presence in this show. As you can see, there's Dory in the picture with Chad, but Chad is just fucking there. They don't give this character much, and I'm kind of like, that's kind of sad because I don't even know who this character is supposed to represent as far as their Japanese counterpart. This character is just there. Just there. He does absolutely nothing, but once in a while have like a funny moment here and there, but he is just there. I feel bad for this actor because they did not give him much at all. He's just fucking there. Now this character, right? If y'all remember Kakaguri, the little girl that always had the one pieces, wore the little bunny, bear suit or whatever, that's who this character is, Runa, right? I would say Runa's character kind of somewhat similar. I would say that the best character design they came up with was this character. You got the suits. By the way, the character wears different suits. I have on the screen now on here, they're wearing like a lion suit. On the TV that I have paused, she's wearing some pink, looks like a penguin type suit. And she's got the lollipop in her mouth. So they basically made this character the most recognizable, where you see this character, you know exactly which character from the anime that this character represents. As far as how this actress Laura plays Runa, she plays it okay. She plays it okay. Obviously, she's not a childlike character. She's not like a child. She's pretty much just looks like a teenager that is not grown up, I guess. But the character herself is Runa. kind of similar to how Runa is in the anime, but again, just kind of missing that childlike mentality where I think maybe for an American audience, that would be weird for us to watch somebody at her age portray, like, have the mentality of a child. Like when I did my Charlie voice, when I do my little Charlie voice, it's cringy when I do that because it makes you feel uncomfortable that I'm an adult and I'm acting like a child, you know? So I feel like making her a little bit more mature, but still keeping a little bit of immaturity in this character has been done very well. Again, I'm not mad at it. It was a choice. At least the creators try their best with these characters, and I'm not even mad at what they've done to some of these characters. Again, I understand it from an American audience point of view, but I also think that with certain characters, there are certain things about Kakaguri that, you know, with anime and Japan, it works, whereas an Americanized version of it, it's not going to work. It's going to be weird for us. So I don't mind that this character isn't like a child and, you know, talks like a child or even looks like a child. But again, they made a choice and it's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. This person, I don't even know who the fuck this person's supposed to be either. I'm not gonna lie, this person didn't have much to do in the show. So another Chad, basically, and that's it. That's all they have so far for season 1. Okay. So again, I get it from a fan's point of view. You know, anime adaptations, they don't always get it right. And of course, Bet doesn't get everything right. Like they have a few moments where as an anime fan you'll be like, but then it's a different type of story. Mind you, it says it's inspired. It's not, it's an adaptation, but it also says it takes inspiration. We're doing Kakaguri, but we're making twists. We're doing something different. And I'm not actually that mad at it. Because again, as anime fans, we are very entitled. We have 2 animes, we have 2 live action Japanese adaptations that are perfect. Okay? This doesn't have to be perfect. This does not have to be perfect. You know, I'm not mad at it. I actually am enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. I like it. And I hated it. I hated it yesterday, guys. I hated it yesterday. I said so. Tony in the chat reminded me I hated it yesterday because I just started it. But as I got into it, I'm like, I actually love this. I like what they're doing with it. It's not that bad. Again, it has its cringy moments, but so did the original Kakaguri. That's what made it great. Now, I'm not saying this is as good as Kakaguri. I'm not saying that by a long shot. It clearly is not. Obviously, the original Kakaguri and the animated and the live action Japanese adaptations are 100% better because they are true to the anime and the manga, whereas this one doesn't have those over exaggeration expressions that made Kakaguri really popular. It really was those over exaggerated expressions that the characters made when they lost or when they got excited. They even did that in the Japanese live action adaptation. They had those same type of expressions, which was an interesting way of doing it. Like, I'm not mad at it. I keep saying that I'm not mad at it because I want everyone to know I ain't mad at it. Now, I looked up one of the articles, and we're gonna go over this because I was cracking up because I'm like, yo, people really want to find everything they can to just hate everything. Okay, so this is the 5 things Netflix did wrong with Bet Kakaguri's live action anime adaptation. All right, so we're gonna go over this, and I'm gonna just give you my takes on it. Okay, so number 1, Bet live action adaptation was completely unnecessary. Here's my take on it. I'm not even going to read what it has to say about it because I'm just going to say this. A lot of anime adaptations are unnecessary. A lot of fucking reboots are unnecessary. A lot of sequels are unnecessary. I'm not mad at somebody who might have been a fan. And by the way, I want to say this. The people who made Bet definitely did some homework, or they were fans of the anime and wanted to tell a version of it. You could consider this fan fiction, and it's not a bad fan fiction, to be honest with you. Like I said, it's kind of similar to the original story, with some differences being mainly Yumiko's motivation for going to this school being more revenge rather than having a gambling addiction. I'm not mad at these creators for making this. Saying it's unnecessary. A lot of shit that fucking the industry makes is unnecessary in my opinion. But at this point, it's like, is it really unnecessary, or is it just people wanting to tell stories, trying to make adaptations of they might have enjoyed in the past? I mean, again, let's go back to Death Note. Do I think that the people who made Death Note were fans of Death Note? Hold on. Whoa, my shit's glitchy. On my end, it's glitchy. Pause. There we go. Death Note was awful. The live action adaptation of Death Note was awful. Now, were the people who made Death Note probably fans of the show or watched the anime before? Probably. Do they want to tell their type of story version of it? Sure. Was it bad? Yes. Was it unnecessary? Could be. But doesn't mean it has no right to exist. Doesn't mean it doesn't have a right to exist, except for Dragon Ball Evolution. That had no right to exist. Honestly, I mean, there are things that are really bad. But again, it's one thing if you make a movie like Death Note and Dragon Ball Evolution that's based off of a popular anime, right? And you do absolutely nothing that even remotely resembles the original. And for me, it's like completely changing a character's personality or motivations like they did in Death Note. Okay, what was Light's motivation to become Kira in the live action Netflix adaptation of Death Note? I'll tell you, it was pussy motivated. That completely changes the character of Light Yagami from being one of the most smartest characters in the fucking franchise, right? In that series, from being a smart character to being a stupid boy thinking with his penis. Absolutely stupid choice of doing that. And then they bring in Misa Misa, who is not Misa Misa. Her name is something else, but she becomes more like Light Yagami in the anime in this live action adaptation. And it was just like, but why? You had one job. It was simple. It was easy. Death Note is an easy story to tell. That's not that hard. You didn't need to make all those changes. That is a bad choice. Like when I say that's a choice, that was a bad choice. Dragon Ball Evolution. Goku in Dragon Ball Evolution. The strongest Saiyan, the strongest being on Earth, was bullied in fucking high school. That was the story they went with Dragon Ball Evolution. Okay? Dumbest change I've ever seen. Oh, wait, but he's a Saiyan. He's going to become Super Saiyan, guys. You know? But he got bullied in school. Okay? That's Dragon Ball Evolution. That you can't fucking fix stupid on that one. That was a bad choice. Now this show, have there been some bad choices? Yeah, a few choices I would say would be bad. Does it take away from the show as a whole? Not for me, not really. Again, the premise is still the same. Yumiko's motivation is different, but that's a small change that doesn't take away from her character being really good at gambling, winning at gambling, all that stuff, you know. Not mad at it. Piccolo was good in the movie though. We're not going to get into it, Anthony. That whole movie was an abomination. Okay, I'm not going to put it up on the screen, but we're going to go up to the second point, right? Overly exaggerated character developments. All right, I am going to read this. I am going to read this out because this is interesting. The protagonist of Kakegurui, Yumiko, is a charismatic and cheerful character, but she has a switch that turns her into a bloodthirsty, terrifying individual, and it mostly happens when she catches someone cheating. This essentially sets the tone of the character in Kakegurui as well. The person who wrote this, you did not watch Kakegurui. You know how I know? Because number one, Yumiko's expressions of her like bloodlust, you put it, right? Basically, like you're like bloodthirsty. Is that exactly the word you did? You know, yes, bloodthirsty. It wasn't bloodthirsty for actual blood, though. She was just a gambling addict. She got turned on. She was turned on, by the way. It wasn't bloodthirst. She was sexually aroused by gambling. Legitimately, in Kakegurui, she was sexually aroused by gambling. That was what she was doing. Now, she caught someone cheating. Yeah, she would be, you know, I'm going to get you back. But she never wanted to physically harm anyone. And bet this Yumiko does. She wants revenge, right? But she still has, in this show, still has that bubbly excitement that she loves gambling, you know. It's still present. It's just, again, the motive has changed in the Bet show, but it's not that bad. But the person who said bloodthirsty, I'm like, nah, she was turned on. Like, that girl was getting wet playing friggin' poker. Like, that was a real thing. Like, let's see. The series did a great job maintaining the subtlety and the callousness of her nature when needed, but Bet decided to enhance it to create more drama. Most of the character developments in recently released live-action adaptation feels overly exaggerated. It wasn't that bad. I disagree. Number 3, Yumiko's character does not feel empathetic enough. Although Yumiko's entire character is driven by gambling and revenge for the death of her parents, she still manages to make fans feel empathetic towards her. This works perfectly for a role as a protagonist of Kakegurui and gives her an intriguing character development. However, Yumiko Bet feels a little odd as she fails to focus on the side that would make your fans connect with her. Her manipulation tactics, her overly dramatic addiction to gambling, and her revenge-driven character do not draw parallels with Yumiko from the original series. I mean, it does, though. It does. So here's one thing I'll say about Bet that was interesting, right? You don't find out, like, because Yumiko and Kakegurui, there's a reason why she goes to that school. Not just because she is a compulsive gambler. Like, she is there for vengeance in her own way, right? So we don't get that focus, or we don't get that information till like way later in the show, right? Way later in the series, you don't get any information about her history for the most part and why she is at that school, right? Now, in Bet, you get all that information from the episode 1, which is why I kind of was like, this is weird. Like, episode 1 starts off with her in detention, and I'm talking about in Bet, not in Kakegurui. In Bet, Yumiko's in detention for gambling while she's gambling in detention, which was very weird. The person who played the principal, the acting was really bad. That's why I was like, this is trash, right? So in the beginning, you already kind of know what the motivation of the character is in this live action adaptation. Again, it was a choice. After watching it, it's not bad, but to say that she doesn't have that drive, that empathy, no, it's there. Again, people want to compare this so much to the original, which, again, why? If you want to see a good live action adaptation of Kakegurui, there are two live action movies on Netflix, by the way. I saw them both on Netflix. There are 2 live action adaptations of Kakegurui on Netflix. Go watch those. You don't need to like every single adaptation that comes out of these animes, guys. And I'm actually surprised that they even came out with Bet because of the fact that there was 2 live action adaptations from Japan that were already made. So again, I have to disagree with this top 5 list. The character is actually empathetic. You know, I actually think that they've done pretty well with the character considering. Now, number 4, Bet feels bland in comparison to the original. So, of course, it's going to feel bland compared to the original. Animes are fucking amazing because they are so fucking, like, the stories are just fucking popping, okay? Like, animes are always going to be number 1 when it comes to live action adaptations, because in a live action adaptation, you cannot do a lot of the shit that they can do in animation and have it look really good or not goofy. Like, listen, perfect example. Why all of the superhero costumes don't always look the fucking same in live action, okay? Everyone was talking about Hawkeye's costume in comic book looks fine. In costume, in a real setting, it's fucking stupid. It's stupid. Okay? I'm sorry. You cannot translate everything to live action and have it look appealing to the eyes. Like, I've seen cosplayers cosplay as Hawkeye from the comic books, and it looks cool for cosplay. In a real world setting, that costume looks fucking stupid. Stupid as shit. Okay? Like, if Batman's costume was purple, would you guys want to see a purple fucking bat suit? It makes no sense. I mean, thank God his suits are purple. And yes, this is weeb shit. Welcome to the weeb shit. I'm just saying, like, a lot of people bitch about changes made, and you have to understand not everything translates better in live action that comes from the paper. So, of course, an anime is going to be more saucier than a live action adaptation, especially one based on fucking Kakegurui. Okay? It's not gonna have that same appeal, and it would be fucking stupid if they tried, to be 100% honest with you. It would have been 100% stupid if they tried. Just, I don't know what it is. When it comes to American adaptations of things, the way Japan does things, it's a style, it's a culture, right? So even in a live action Japanese version, like, they do try to still have those type of elements in their live actions, but even Japan doesn't always do it because they know it looks fucking goofy in live action. All right? Now, American audiences, Americans who watch anime, like, I'm talking somebody like fucking Isaac, who wants to talk about weeb shit. This is clearly somebody who is not as hardcore into anime as I am, right? Isaac would watch an anime for the first time and be like, this is fucking weird. This is a weird fucking show. I would show him Kakegurui as his first anime, and he'd be like, why are their faces like that? Why? He doesn't understand because he's never watched an anime outside of this one. Okay? A lot of American audiences, Western audience who are not into anime, are not going to understand the references, why these characters have over dramatic reactions. They're not going to understand the fucking yatta. They're not going to get that, right? They're not going to understand that. Okay? So it makes sense that if you're trying to make something American, right, you're going to have to dumb down some shit for Americans who just don't watch anime. And on top of that, again, it's weird enough to translate some of the stuff that animes do to live action, but to do it just like that, it's like, y'all fans just want it for you. These people aren't making these things just for us. They're trying to gain more people to be interested. Who knows? Maybe Bet's going to introduce people to Kakegurui because they mentioned Kakegurui in this show, right? Because Kakegurui is compulsive gambler in Japanese, right? That's the translation. So, I mean, I don't know. Now, we're going to get to, I love anime medium fans. I know, right? You got to love them. The character, okay, so number 5. The characters in Bet have loud outfits. That's the thing. That's the crazy part. The characters in Bet have loud outfits. Let's see. Bet has made the best effort to capture the essence of Kakegurui by trying to include the same setting within the series, from the school's infrastructures to the betting rooms, which is true. They actually, I will listen, we didn't even talk about the set. The school looks fire. The school definitely has the whole Kakegurui feel to it. Anyways, everything draws parallel with the original source except for the outfits that the students wear in Bet. What? Bet has tried to make the characters look their part, which they have. They 100% have. But it might have gone a little bit overboard with it. The series has a lot of loud, flashy outfits that are unnecessary and do not align with the characters from the original series. What do you mean? They pretty much do. However, the only good thing about these outfits is they draw perfect parallels with the developments of the characters of the story. Bet has tried its best to adapt the original Kakegurui series, and the efforts might have gone a little overboard, which essentially led to the series being a sad adaptation. That's sad that they said it's a sad adaptation. Here's my thing, right? We just talked about the outfits, okay? From the characters, right? Their outfits, even though they're not perfect, they still tell you what their anime counterpart is. The chick with the mask. As soon as I saw that chick, I knew that that was the character's fucking sister. That was a chick who wore the mask. Again, it's not a full mask, but it's a mask, right? So you know that that character is the student council leader's sister, right? Before they even said it, I knew who that character was just by seeing the picture. Before I saw the trailer, I knew who every character was for the most part. Okay? Every character I knew for the most part, I picked out from the trailer. And then and mind you, some of the characters weren't even in the trailer. So when I'm watching, I'm like, oh, that character's supposed to be this person. That character's supposed to be this person. So no, again, whoever wrote that article, and a lot of these articles are being written, tell me you didn't see Kakaguri without telling me you didn't see Kakaguri. Because even though, yes, this adaptation is not perfect, right? It's not perfect. It still does the job for a true fan to watch and see who's supposed to be each character, right? That's all I'm going to say on that one. That's all I'm going to say on that one. All right. Now, overall, would I recommend this adaptation? I mean, yeah, if you are a fan of Kakaguri and you're going to go into this expected to be just like Kakaguri, don't watch it. Do not watch it at all. But if you're open-minded, and you want to see something and see how they did it, like I was curious, I watched it, give it a shot. It might grow on you like it grew on me. You know, it might grow on you like it grew on me. Again, not perfect. Doesn't have to be. If you want to see a good live-action adaptation of Kakaguri, you have two movies based on it, and does it right. Okay? And does it just like the anime. You know what I'm saying? Again, the story is very different from Bet, obviously. Bet is not the same as Kakaguri. That's why it's not called Kakaguri. That's why it's called Bet. That's why it's called Bet. It's not even called Compulsive Gamer. It's just called Bet. And one thing I will give credit, right? I just noticed this too. Every time the intro goes off, it's a different intro, shows a different card, either heart or a spade, gives you a little bit of a teaser of like what's going to be in this episode or whatever the focus of the episode is going to be. It's clever. It's not bad. Like I said, I feel bad because people are shitting on this, and I'm like, I feel bad for the actors because the actors did pretty good. The actors did pretty good. Again, for what they were given, they did good. Some did very well. The main cast, the characters, they all did well. All the actors should be proud. And I know they had fun making this show, and it's sad to see these people who had fun, they did very well, have everyone shit on them just because fans can't just cope with the fact that we're going to get a bunch of anime adaptations. They're either going to be good or they're going to be bad, but I'm not going to completely shit on every single one that comes out, because I did yesterday. I will say, in the beginning, it had me looking sideways. I was like, this is going to be bad, but it grew on me. I was actually shocked that I could sit here, boot up a live stream, and not talk about drama and get 40 million views on my channel, right? To talk about something I actually like. And that's the thing. That's why I can't do movie talk often, because I'd rather talk about the shit that I like rather than talk about the shit I don't like. There's enough YouTube content creators that are out there to shit and piss on everything that's entertainment because it makes them money. I'd rather talk about things that I enjoy and make nothing. I'd rather make nothing than talk about shit I don't like and shit on something just for the sake of shitting on it. So that's all I got. That's all I got today. Short stream. That's it. Wanted to talk about something I like today. Don't want to do drama today. Taking a break from drama. Taking a day off from drama to talk about something I like. So yes, Bet on Netflix. 10 episodes. Get through the first 2 episodes. You'll be okay. You know, again, it's a shame that everyone's gonna shit on this to high hell, but I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna expect it to get a season 2 now, because again, if it's an adaptation, the fans are going to make sure it doesn't get a season 2. So fuck the story that these people want to tell. You know, fuck the story that these people want to tell. And again, it's not even a bad story. I'm pretty sad that this is probably going to be the only season. But anyways, that's all I got. I'm going to go now. Thanks for listening to me rant and rave about a movie you guys probably won't see, and nobody's going to agree with me on this point, because again, anime fans are the most entitled fucking people on this planet, next to Star Wars fans. I mean, a lot of fans in general. Y'all have some serious entitlement issues that I think is sometimes understandable, but not now, because again, there are already live action adaptations of Kakaguri. If you want to see a better one, go back and watch those. Go show Japan some love. But let people who want to give this shit a chance, let us give it a chance. Please and thank you. Appreciate it. because that's all I want to do is watch some entertaining stuff. So there we go. Short micro stream, like a micro penis. Yes, I agree, Isaac. But anyways, that's it. Love you guys. I'll see you guys later. What do we want to end with? What song? What song are we ending with? I got a friggin' thing here now. Let's see. Let's see. Let's end with the Yellow Flash song. Yeah, we'll end on Yellow Flash because he likes to shit on everything entertainment, even though he probably doesn't even know what the fuck he's talking about. With if he does one on Bet, I swear to God, I will react to it and shit on him.
Sipping black coffee in my Jay-Z do-rag. I don't know if I can say that. Exposed on YouTube, now they say that. Yellow Flash ain't fast, he just talk fast. Flying out his ass for the bag. Burning bridges, making foes, now they fight back. Exposed on YouTube, now they say that. Yellow Flash ain't fast, he just talk fast. Flying out his ass for the bag. Burning bridges, making foes, now they fighting back. Exposed on YouTube, now they say that. Yellow Flash ain't fast, he just talk fast. Flying out his ass for the bag. Burning bridges, making foes, now they fighting back. Exposed on YouTube, now they say that. Yellow Flash ain't fast, he just talk fast. Sipping black coffee in my Jay-Z do-rag. I don't know if I can say that. Exposed on YouTube, now they say that. Yellow Flash ain't fast, he just talk fast. Flying out his ass for the bag. Burning bridges, making flows, now they fighting back. Exposed on YouTube, now they say that. Yellow Flash ain't fast, he just talk fast. Flying out his ass for the bag. Burning bridges, making flows, now they fighting back. Exposed on YouTube, now they say that.